Glastonbury, steeped in history, myth, and the smell of incense. Possibly the quirkiest town in England, Glastonbury has been a breeding ground for spiritualist activity for centuries. Said to be filled with magical healing energies and sacred sites, each year thousands of people are drawn to the mystical Isle of Avalon from all over the globe. And if vibes and energy can't be felt through a screen or in a book, the proof is really in the pudding, and the logical thing to do would be to go and see what the fuss is all about myself.
Oh god, they've gone numb.
Lift the veil on one of the most mythologized landscapes.
All I can say is whoa.
In the British Isles.
It smells like blood. Supposedly, this is the portal to peace, inner peace, enlightenment. I'll be the judge of that one. Maybe it really is a human charging port over here in Glastonbury.
Will I feel the difference in the energy described by the people here as the Glastonbury Call? History, myth and legend combine in such a way that most visitors cannot fail to feel the vibes and powerful atmosphere of the town. I can't help but wonder, what can I expect? So what better start than to chat with the real-life priestess of Avalon, also an author sharing the Glastonbury town deal, spending her whole life in service to Glastonbury. If anyone's going to know what all the fuss is about, hello, nice to meet you. It's going to be Lynn.
What brought me to Glastonbury? I was in Greece and had this incredible mystical experience in 1989, and everybody kept saying to me, you have to go to Glastonbury. So I came here every year until I moved here in 2010. I completely fell in love with it. Oh, it's just like coming home. There's conventional people here, wacky people here, being who they truly are. And it's all glorious. I accept all of it.
What's the charm of Glastonbury that leaves people coming back for more?
Most people I talk to feel that they've had the call. We call it the Glastonbury Call. King Arthur's bones buried here, full of myths and legends. There's something for everybody here, and for some of us it's home. So I think that brings us back home literally time and time again.
So would you advise people to go at a certain time of year?
I don't think it matters what time of year. There is something going on. Coming here for Samhain in October is lovely. Coming for Beltane. We are the heart chakra of the world. You can meet a green man, you can meet the priestess to the goddess, you can meet a druid, you can meet a fairy or a pixie, you can meet the vicar. I first came in 1989, got married here in 1994, and I shall be here for the rest of my life. I absolutely love it.
And if that's not going to do it, then nothing else will. So my family and I immediately put the pedal to the metal and shot our way off down to Somerset in search for a big old hill somewhere amongst the gorgeous rolling views, giving us a surefire sign that we're in the right place. In true pagan culture, we soaked in all the gorgeous elements come rain or shine, and almost as though spirit was welcoming in my experience, we were greeted by a beautiful rainbow during our road trip. Hybrid landscapes always attract mysticism, and Glastonbury is no exception. The area has been a vessel for magical thinking since its early history. To the Celtic tribes, the hungry landscape was a home to a hidden cave, in which was an entry to a realm where the Lord of the Underworld was said to dwell. And while the Christianisation of Britain largely did away with the belief that the spirit world existed, the monks of Glastonbury Abbey couldn't help but feel the landscape held some hidden power. While Glastonbury may be swathed in mystic, it's the possible past visitors to Glastonbury that are of real intrigue here.
So we've arrived to our space only to discover we can see
There she is. Boop, 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 boop. The Tor is one of the spaces that people visit, especially when they come to this area, as it's supposedly very sacred and where a lot of history and stories are. In fact, that exact location is supposed to be exactly where Earth's heart chakra is. Oh, I just realised there's a rainbow. It's the second rainbow we've seen today. It's very faint. I don't know if you can see that. We will see you later. First mission is to research what attractions attract people to this area. I also feel like the guest book that people sign when they visit this particular B&B will probably give me some clues as to why people visit and what people get from the experience. History aside, the location is a hub for opportunities in spiritual development, with a number of rituals, exhibitions, markets and events all over the place. Not many places in the UK have access to that kind of stuff. That alone is worth something. You could argue that Glastonbury's tourism has reached a point of contradiction. For free-spirited hippies with a home in anywhere, why go Glastonbury? There's a Spirit of the Green Man shop, but perhaps it's a great middle way for those curious of the lighter and more joyful way of living. I want to go to this tree walk. I can certainly empathise with the local traditionalists and their viewpoint of the town, but also the hardcore nomads' ideas and what Avalon has come to be. Where history lies within the treasured corners of Avalon is, however, irreplaceable, and quite frankly reasons for the counterculture to visit until the end of time. The magical and spiritual essence experienced in the walls of Avalon, whether materialised from within or transmitted to us from the very earth below, there's no doubt that the curiosity of Avalon will touch our hearts for much time to come. A free workshop for decision making.
No, where are you?
Can't decide whether to go or not.
Yeah.
They've got a sacred cinema. What makes it sacred?
Probably was a church at one time.
Yeah. So if you go like grocery shopping, here is it like sacred shopping? Get your sacred apples. They got a wizard show, Saturday dance church, dark moon rituals. Well, you'd be sorted if you lived around here, wouldn't you? Every night there'd be something on.
Yeah.
In reaching Glastonbury, I wondered whether it set an intention by spiritual promotion. There's a little Buddha outside our apartment. Hello. But we're on our way out now. It's pitch black because it's winter, so it gets dark really early. But I know that there's a lot of impressive Glastonbury shop window displays. So even though the shops will be closed, we'll probably see a good idea about what we can expect and why people come to Glastonbury. The types of people you see shopping here and the types of people you see selling things here. The Pagan Takeover High Street is one of the oldest high streets in England. It is utterly fascinating and almost lost in time. You really could call it the witchcraft capital here. Browsing through the shop windows in the evening definitely added to the air of mystic that Glastonbury town already has to offer. There is a great range of unusual independent shops. Will shortly allow you to encounter a higher than average number of straggly grey beards and colourful floaty clothes. The residents take the town's growth as a centre for alternative beliefs very seriously. I noticed lots and lots of symbolism in various areas, almost acting as a large altar of thanks and respect to nature and magic and seasons. Crystals, candles, shamanic cards, or cosmic wisdom walking shoes. I could have done with those for the tour. At the very foot of Glastonbury High Street, you'll find a complex of shops and function rooms called the Glastonbury Experience Courtyard, a centre offering help, guidance, teaching, training, contemporary spirituality and healing on all aspects of 21st century spiritual growth and ecological awareness. There you'll find the Library of Avalon, the Bridget Chapel and the Goddess Temple. Hi Lynn. An intention of the area since way back in the Middle Ages, I could train to be a priestess of Avalon or experience new moon healing. Just walking around this area, there definitely is an element of magic in the air. I think it's just I mean, it's very like central for one. It might be the more like commercialized side of things, but it's just nice that everything that you're seeing down the main high street is crystal based and it's around goddess energy. I don't know if you're just making it up from like how good everything looks, but it just, I don't know, the air, the atmosphere feels lighter around here. There's just a hint of magic. It kind of feels like when you're in Disneyland. Disneyland for witches. You're probably going to feel a little bit more part of a community when there's lots of things that are on sale which you know that you resonate with. I guess here is kind of like the equivalent to what you get when you enter a crystal shop, but that feeling never really ends here. It's just continuous of like holistic crystal stores.
Piece of driftwood, probably.
As a fun side note, I noticed during the editing process, the original footage of this section of this video landed at exactly 444, a guardian angel protection number. And as always, a bit like my rainbow introducing the start of this journey, magic. Magic is everywhere. It's up to you to turn on the light. So we are winding down for the evening now. This whole like experiment is going to be hard because I can't tell whether I'm sorry, but there's a chair like right in front of me and that looks super like spooky. I know, I feel like someone's going to be sitting on there watching me sleep because this is literally where my bed is. But it's going to be hard to know whether a lot of stuff is placebo. I mean, the thing is that a lot of people say there's like a fine line between imagination and meditation. So it's like there is no difference. There's nothing really wrong with that if you're like intentionally putting your mindset into a place where it's like, here I'm going to feel peaceful and like spiritual. And if you feel that, regardless of if it's placebo, it shouldn't really matter. So that technically in itself could be a benefit of Glastonbury. Like people know that coming here they feel a certain way, so therefore it puts them in that space when they get here. And regardless of how that happens, it doesn't matter because it happens, if that makes sense. Who knows? But tomorrow we will be going to the Chalice Well, which is one of the most famous wells in the UK, and it supposedly has healing waters in it. You can drink it in some areas, you can bathe your feet in it. Yeah, I'm gonna give that a try. But once again, placebo, who knows? But also the gardens itself, where the Chalice Well is supposedly very peaceful, and you kind of use it as like a place to recharge. It's sort of like a human being charging pot. Kate, who's my fellow investigator, she's currently in bed. She will be visiting the Chalice to do some fairy investigation. And it'll be cool to kind of experiment how I feel before going and then how I feel afterwards, and if it truly is one of the most peaceful places in the UK and the most relaxing. But for now, good night. And as if by magic, the sun came out through the clouds of a bleak and miserable morning to light up our way towards the Chalice Well. While editing this film, it was easy to forget that this was shot right in the middle of November. I brought some tea blend with me. It's supposedly supposed to strengthen your sense of interconnection, so I thought this would be a really good opportunity to use that. Opportunity, get it? Giving you like mental calm and focus. It's supposed to be good for your memory. It's got holy basil in it, which I thought would go well with the holy water today. Ginkgo, wood batoni, skullcap, rosemary, rose hips, peppermint. Things I cannot pronounce other than the peppermint. I'll show it on camera though, in case you're interested. You're meant to steep for about 8 minutes. Oh, honey? Makes it a lot sweeter. The Chalice Well has long been revered as a place of profound energy and spiritual connection. It is considered a sacred site and an energy vortex, where the Earth's energy is believed to be particularly potent. So today I set forth with an open heart and an open mind, ready to experience the energy that has drawn pilgrims for centuries. It is said that within these grounds, the veil between worlds is thin. As we enter the Chalice Well's gardens, we are immediately greeted by a serene and tranquil atmosphere. The air feels charged, as if time stands still, inviting us to slow down and connect with the energy that envelops this sacred space. Every day at midday, they have a minute silence for inner peace and reflection, and the minute is just about to start now because I've just arrived literally on time and it's already beautiful here. Oh, the bell has rung. Where should I sit? My sister's sat over there doing her minute reflection. I think I'll sit on this bench here. I can always appreciate a pretty garden, though the air did feel lighter, quieter, and almost separated enough to easily make you forget you're very close to town. But I didn't particularly feel anything profoundly different about contemplation here, so I decided to take things a little bit further and see if a deeper connection can be made to the environment by connecting on a more intimate level to the elements. So here is the little section that you can have a little dip in if you want. It's supposedly healing water, so if you have any foot issues, it's supposed to help, but I can imagine it being very cold at this time of year. Is anyone going to brave it? No, I'm going to put my crystal in there.
The water is the same temperature all the year round.
Oh,
although it's cold now, generally, in the summer months it stays the same.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, you heard it here first. Oh, it looks very orange here, and the colour is orange because it's got a lot of iron in it. And as a water sign, it would be truly criminal not to fully capture the true essence of Glastonbury's spirit without giving the waters a proper try for their healing powers. So no one want to join? Just me? Okay. Even the ground's cold. Am I going to regret this? I don't think I can even pull my trousers high enough. I'm just going to get my goggles on. Oh, it is a bit cold. Ooh. Oh, it's actually quite... Oh God, they've gone numb. My feet are numb. It's actually quite soothing once you're in, but I think that about water in general. I like water. I'll do some laps. The Pilgrim's Bath used to be much deeper than it is today. Its popularity reached a peak in the mid-18th century. It makes you want to go swimming. Following reports of miraculous healing, almost 10,000 people visited here in a day. I've sold it to my dad, he's coming in. You could really do some walking meditation with this. A mindful stroll. How does it feel?
The toe is now being healed because I stumped it the other day.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
I did.
So we have an actual toe injury. Will it be healed by the end of this experience?
It probably is.
Yeah.
It might be because it's nearly ice cold.
Yeah. It will fall off because it's so numb. I've regulated to the temperature now.
Yeah.
Well, now we just have to awkwardly dry our feet, really. Actually, I feel very regenerated. You can imagine coming here a lot if you live nearby. You can get a membership to the garden, so you can visit on a regular, because there's houses around there. They probably just use it as their garden. Read a book, go for a swim. Technically supposed to be barefoot with spiritual experiences, so Maybe I can do some earthing while I'm here, which is walking barefoot on earth. Cut to that. It is very beautiful. Very peaceful. We haven't even made it to the well yet. It's lovely views. So I am currently sitting at one of the quiet contemplation reflection sections. Ooh, that was a roll off the tongue. They have a lot of minute silences here, but I think the majority of this garden is very peaceful, and just sitting and having a breather here. It's beautiful. I mean, I find that sense of peace in most gardens anyway, so I wouldn't necessarily say you need to come to somewhere as spiritual and as holy as the Chalice Well, but there is a lot of history that goes way back here. There are even trees here that go BC. Some of the history here is incredible, but I find a lot of peace anyway when I come and visit and sit and reflect by a tree. I've always said the best decisions that I've ever made are ones that I decided upon when in the woods or by a tree. Like, I always feel like I feel drawn towards woodland when I'm trying to make decisions, and I always end up making the best decision when I do that. Ultimately, in the end, I figure that out. I'm like, it was a great decision once again. Joseph is said to have buried the Holy Grail just below the Tor, the red spring where Joseph buried the chalice.
It's not.
The rich iron content colours the rocks, and the water was supposed to bring eternal youth to whoever would drink it.
Oh, it's really iron. It's really iron.
As somebody in their prime, I would like to have it stay that way. So this is the Lion's Head, a specific place that you can actually drink from the well, but there's no other areas you can. This one's safe to drink, but it's still really strong in iron, and I bought this bottle here to bring back. So that then flows down to where we just were putting our feet in. Whoa! Have a sip while I'm here. It smells like blood.
It does, it's not really what's inside. You smell blood.
Whoa!
And you find that never goes green, that wood. It's bizarre.
There we go. People still report the water's healing effects. The thing about Glastonbury is, whatever its central truth, it attracts all sorts of colourful elaborations. If your journey here is anything like mine, quite likely you'll meet visitors in long flowing robes, meditating or talking of chakras. Many paths, one source, as the Chalice Well proclaims. Oh no, it's okay. Indeed, in the mid-18th century, Glastonbury enjoyed a brief moment as a spa, with attested cures for everything from asthma to deafness, even threatening business at Bath. But the upstart country market town failed to wean high society of the city's more sophisticated spa entertainments. The symbol on the lid of the well resembles the Celtic cauldron of rebirth and represents the union of heaven and earth. It is considered a symbol of divine feminine energy and is connected to the concept of the womb of the universe, or the portal of creation, and is used in meditation, energy healing, and visualization practices. So this is the very bottom of the Chalice Well. It runs down from the reflection area, contemplation area. Again, we see that Vesica Pisces symbol in all its glory here and in flow form. And you can see how it runs along down this little stream here, down to the very bottom. Feeling regenerated, a 2-minute walk outside of the gardens takes us right back to the high street. I headed back here to pop into Earth Fair, probably one of the best one-stop shops for all of your organic goods, a rarity for where I live. The stuff you'll find here are probably items you usually have to look all over the place back home. It's a haven for conscious living and healthy choices. The shelves are lined with a diverse array of organic produce, wholesome foods, and natural, sustainable, and ethical products, from vibrant fruits and vegetables to nourishing grains and superfoods, all to reduce packaging waste. And living locally would mean you have frequent access to equipment and herbs and flowers and tools that you may not have elsewhere for your witchcrafty workings. I really appreciate and love this space, so I really wanted to give it a bit of a mention. Glastonbury town certainly has an air of mystic about it, and a great range of unusual, top-heavy shop fronts and honey gold limestone. Glastonbury town is nestled in the Somerset Levels, a low-lying landscape reclaimed from the sea. But it wouldn't be fair to show my appreciation for Earth Fair without mentioning Sons of Asgard, one of my personal very favourites in town for witchy workings. It's relatively new and is absolutely packed to the brim with magical products, and a little like what I imagine Hogwarts corner shop to look like. What I love about this store is how almost everything is handmade by them themselves. The teas, the sprays, the spell kits, the candles, the charm bags, the wax melts, the incense kits, the loose and stick incense, the witches' balls, the list goes on. All stocked up now, we're back on the road to continue a less commercial experience. Everything in this town being so close together means that everything being of walking distance gives you the opportunity to check out all the adorably quirky and creative houses along the way. There's always something to look at in Glastonbury, but where are we headed next? So behind me is our first glimpse of the Glastonbury Tor. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop. Ooh, no. Most people visit the Glastonbury Tor for the view. There's also a lot of history attached to the building. The Tor itself is the remains of, was it an abbey? The only place they could build on in this area, because where we're walking now and all around the Glastonbury Tor was just water. Do you know where the sea is from here? So the sea's that direction, and it used to surround this hill, which obviously made it a good place for them to put the Tor on.
St Michael's Tower, it's a grade 1 listed building.
St Michael's Tower, we have information. That's very old. It is said that Jesus himself visited this area. This exact spot is also in the location of the heart chakra on the globes. If you were to put a map out on the floor, this location here is where the heart chakra would be, which most people say means that when you're in this space, when you come to Glastonbury, you feel more connected, open-minded, you've got more of an open heart, which is interesting because obviously walking around you can see there's lots of like alternative style living here. So lots of people who are naturally connected to nature, that we saw a few people doing yoga at the Chalice Well, meditation, Tai Chi. You could argue, is it the location itself that feels more peaceful and you have a sense of like enlightenment here? Or is it that most people congregate here and like create some sort of community together? So like, are they here because they know people come here who are into the same stuff as them? Or are they here because they feel like naturally drawn towards Glastonbury? You alright, Dad? Yeah. We picked a nice day for it. It's better than it was yesterday. Ooh. So we can see the beginning of what will be the 360-degree view. It's already a bit of a... yeah. It's crazy to think it used to come up here then. Yeah, all the way. That's why this was built on the hill. I've looked this up.
Okay. Out of the water.
Yeah, apparently some locals take this walk daily.
Yeah.
As like a morning before work brisk walk. Yeah, before breakfast. I'll be doing this after breakfast if that were me. The hill has been home to Roman, Celtic and Neolithic fortifications, and if we are to believe the stories, has watched over all manner of mythical and religious figures. We just passed a dog walker who walks her dog here every day, which that dog must be one of the luckiest dogs. We're almost there. It's a really clear day as well as it being not raining. It's nice and clear, so we'll be able to see quite far. It must be a nice little ritual in itself for some people who live here, even if they've already done it. You don't necessarily get anything new when you come to the top of the hill, but maybe some new perspective or a fresh outlook on things or some peace and calm.
And again, as if by magic, the sun came out and lit our very experience up. It was easy to forget that this was shot right in the middle of November.
It's time, Vic.
We're nearly there. Oh. Looks quite busy. Quite a few people, supposedly. This is the portal to peace, inner peace, enlightenment. I'll be the judge of that one and see how the experience up on Glastonbury Tor makes me feel. Will I leave here feeling a different person, a lighter person, perhaps?
The turret is all that remains of the church built in the 14th century after an earthquake destroyed the previous site. Rain or shine, full moon or new moon, its pagan beliefs are still very much celebrated at the top of Glastonbury Tor. Glastonbury is said to lie on a ley line. These are said by believers to link or align ancient monuments, notable landscape features and settlements across the world on a series of invisible energy pathways.
Running around the globe, everywhere, are energies that pulsate through the earth. This particular place is we call it a power spot, where energies come into like a hub and then flow off into other places.
Could it be that ancient structures throughout the world were designed to function together as part of a massive energy grid? And did the architects intentionally leave behind information for us to find once we had the technological knowledge to recognize this system?
St. Michael's Tower holds much symbolic significance as it is associated with the Archangel Michael, often depicted as a defender against evil forces in Christian tradition. The dedication to St. Michael suggests a spiritual and protective aspect of the tower. It is believed that the church or chapel that once stood here attracted pilgrims seeking spiritual solace and healing. Do these ley lines hold some significant energy in which can be tapped in from the land above? Theory or truth, I felt compelled to investigate.
Being such a lover of sun-basking meditation and greenery anyway, no matter where history lied beneath me, my attempt at connection felt automatically enhanced here.
We have made it, we have arrived, and it is probably the best case scenario in terms of weather we could possibly get. You can see the entire 360 degree view. I feel like there's probably not a lot of places you can see that. Like a view like this, 360.
There's some sheep down there.
How will we feel afterwards? Will it be worth it? To be fair, last night we all said that we slept really good.
Regenerating.
At first we felt a little bit like, whew, kind of like we were shedding a skin. I felt a little bit like frazzled, I guess. And then by night time, I slept really soundly and I woke up feeling pretty good too. Maybe it really is a human charging port over here in Glastonbury. Oh, there's two little butterflies. After a visit from a butterfly or two, I began to feel really determined in opening myself up to how much I can really let this experience impact me. As a regular meditation practitioner with a great awareness about how much information really sits inside us if we just stop and listen, I wanted to just stop and listen to this very sacred, ancient part of the country, to see what wisdom it just may hold. But I honestly couldn't keep my eyes closed for very long anyway, when I knew this was looking right back at me. All I could think, however, was happy thoughts for my present, my future, and even my past. There was something very peaceful and thought-provoking about my experience on Glastonbury Tor. Perhaps it was the views, allowing me to see out for miles and miles ahead, that allowed me to sink into a place of gratitude and inner peace, along with the smiles and the beautiful energy of people around you. But I can certainly imagine myself coming here time and time again as a local. Particularly on this very warm, clear day, the views are addicting. It would definitely keep me coming back for more. At one point, my family and I began reminiscing over lost loved ones. Anywhere as heart-opening as this would probably do that. My dad has brought his mum's knitted scarf with him so that
She's always with me.
yeah, she's always with him.
She died in 2010.
A fitting place to bring something of your ancestry to honour them, don't you think?
Absolutely. 96 she was.
She died in 2010 at the age of 96, and she now has visited Glastonbury Tor with us. Right in front of the sun as well. Looks like she's wearing a halo. Or perhaps it invites a whole different kind of synchronicity altogether. Get this for a story. I just came on my period while at the top of Glastonbury Tor. And usually I'm quite in tune and I know when I'm about to be. This time not so much because I've had absolutely no pains whatsoever. So maybe I've just felt so at peace here that I've had not a single menstrual pain and it's completely thrown me off. So I'm a little bit early too, so maybe that's the old leaving my body. But so bizarre, yeah. I haven't had any pain, which is what I'm used to, so had to run to the shops, didn't I? Behind me here is the Baptist church, which is another reason people come to this area. There's actually the holy thorn tree, which sits right outside the Baptist church. After the crucifixion, lore has it that Joseph travelled to Britain with the Holy Grail, the cup used by Christ at the Last Supper and later by Joseph to catch his blood at the crucifixion. Joseph thrust his staff into the ground. It was said that in the morning his staff had taken root and grown into a strange thorn bush.
In 2010, the bush was vandalised, but a team propagated a number of new trees from the damaged branches. A tree that is very, very old, that supposedly blossoms in spring, which is not traditionally when the tree itself should blossom, but it's being held up due to its history and how old the tree itself is. I mean, this tree would have seen thousands of years. We're going way, 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 way back. This is probably another very ancient area people like to sit, an area where people can collectively go and honour spirit. And like a phoenix rising from the flames, the Glastonbury Thorn now lives on in many other locations. We are on our last day here in Glastonbury now, and to round off our trip, we are going to the Glastonbury Carnival. I figured this would be a good place to end things off because I feel like the floats themselves, the carts, kind of gives us a good representation of the essence of Glastonbury and what it is that people come here for and celebrate as a community together. And there's a lot of hard work and effort that goes, and money that goes into the carnival itself. So I think this will give us a good example as to what exactly it is that brings people here to this area specifically, and what people are celebrating specifically. What, in an art form, I guess, in a creative art form, do people think of when they hear the word Glastonbury, and what are we celebrating in this area with this annual carnival that happens every year? Just minutes before the carnival started, I really didn't know what I was in for, because this is one of those experiences that you really have to be there to understand just how crazy it is. It's claimed that the Somerset carnivals are the largest illuminated processions in the whole world. It's pretty hard to argue otherwise. These carnival carts are built and designed by carnival clubs all over the country, and they take months to complete, and they truly are a labour of love and can cost thousands of pounds to produce. Each cart has its very own theme and illuminated with thousands and thousands of bulbs. And then carnival club members ride on the carts in fancy dress, often dancing, juggling, singing to pounding music. I noticed during some talk of the town that not every local loves this event, but the amount of people this event itself flocks to the area, so a Somerset Carnival can easily last for around a couple of hours. Also then judged, and prizes are awarded at each event. It is so magical, so enjoyable, and I would recommend anybody go and visit this underappreciated, underdocumented event here in Somerset.
What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life. Deep connection lights a spark. It's like you know me in the depths of my heart. We're dreamers.
Producing this very movie in itself was a very meaningful awakening to my younger self and internalised creative abilities. My personal experience in Glastonbury came at a time in which I realised my early intentions to shoot and manipulate film was getting neglected.
Oh, Santa!
Whether or not I ever noticed any difference in how I practiced tarot or meditated, I believe that Avalon spoke to me in the way that Avalon was supposed to speak to me. Because spiritual connection is all about connection to the spirit of you. And I found a part of myself in Glastonbury. Maybe all the energy of self-discoveries at this place leaves an open-minded and joyful air behind it. Or maybe everybody leaves a little piece of their truest self in the Glastonbury earth.
Something about
What an incredible way to finish off my trip. It really just illuminates the magic of everything that Glastonbury is. Without a doubt, Glastonbury as a whole is a highly enjoyable visit. Anybody who comes here would be leaving with a smile and a glow and a pep in their step. Whoa. Whoa. All I can say is whoa. I feel like the Glastonbury Carnival isn't promoted as much as it probably should be, because I feel like it's definitely the best carnival I've ever seen. It's so well done. It's huge. And it's one of those things that make you kind of emotional watching it. I believe it's solely donation based, which is also crazy. I thought a lot of floats would be kind of sponsored. Here, everyone is so open with self-expression, and I feel like just walking around the towns, you can see that most people are creative, they're artists, and are more maybe openly available and to create art. And I think this area in general, I feel like fits that theme, belongs in that kind of place that a carnival like this would be. It just felt like a celebration of music, musicals, humour and song. Everyone there just seemed like they were there to have a good time and dance, and it was hard to film a lot of it because I just wanted to dance. It was so nice seeing people from their shop windows watching the carnival go past their road as well. Really impressive. Is it true that Glastonbury holds answers? Is Glastonbury a gateway? What's so spiritual and magical about it? And do we feel undeniably more connected there? I set out on this journey to discover whether Glastonbury holds life's biggest answers. But in my own experience, I discovered it simply opens you up to a better idea of the questions. To embody the true essence of spiritual connection, we dig deep to find creation within ourselves, but also with intention and willingness to co-create alongside something bigger than ourselves. Feeling connected is never a lightning bolt, and more of a coil. As anything else magical, there will never be a black or white, only an and. If we are open to receive, the universe will communicate. As if by magic, we saw not one, but 2 rainbows. As if by magic, the rain cleared for us on 2 separate occasions. As if by magic, the sun hit the Chalice Well right as we sat by it. As if by magic. Isn't that the whole point of feeling spiritually connected? To notice the blessings in every circumstance, no matter of where in the world that you are.
One only remembers to turn on the light.
Do we leave the essential truth to the eye and soul of the beholder? Glastonbury seems happy to do so.